All right, so welcome to Scales. We just had a great performance by Louis.
Paul and Totes.
Paul and Totes. Okay, we'll call him Paul and
single
Totes
is
for now.
Terra Smile. I'm just kidding.
Great. So we had a special invitation for tonight's performance here at Scales, and we were treated to a little bit of a different set than what we're usually used to. We got to hear 4 original songs and two covers. Let's start with the covers. First of all, how do you guys feel you did tonight?
That was over pretty well, yeah.
Well, dude,
a couple little weird sound things. I wish I could have heard my guitar a little better. But that's okay. Yeah.
No, it probably sounded all right out there. That's really what we were most worried about, was that sounding good out to the audience.
Yeah.
We don't get to play a lot together where we have like a good sound setup, so it was cool.
And we don't get to really do originals.
We don't get to do originals all that often, but as for the covers, Travis was playing Carolina on My Mind a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, I really want to play that, because, I don't know, it's a cool song.
Yeah.
James Taylor has some great songs, and we've done a few James Taylor covers before, and so Carolina on My Mind seemed like a good starting point. It's got really fast movement, like chordal movement, but not really harmonic movement.
Yeah, to me it's a nice kind of a marriage of simplicity and complexity. You know, when you listen to it, it doesn't sound like really complex. It doesn't have like a really complex or like heady feel to it. But you go and try to play it, and it's like, okay, this kind of moves around a little bit.
Yeah, it moves around. Yeah, learning it is not. Well, I guess
it's not the simplest tune in the world.
Yeah, it's not the simplest tune in the world. I mean,
but it's a beautiful song.
It's a great song.
It's fun to play. It's got nice harmonies. That's something we've been trying to focus on.
Yeah, we've been trying to sing together a lot. That's what I want to do with Travis. I really like backing him up because he has a baritone kind of range, and I'm up in the tenor range. My range is limited, but I'm still I feel comfortable singing above him. So we've been trying to get that together a lot. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's working out.
Then we did.
It makes us both better. It makes us focus. I think.
It does. Yeah. Then we did Silly Love Song. Yeah, Paul McCartney and Wings, of course. That
seemed to get a good response.
Yeah. You know, I think it's been long enough to where a couple young guys like us playing that, it's like people don't really expect it. You know, and
it's not a song that people cover, really.
Yeah.
It really isn't a song that people cover very often. It's kind of like when we do Supertramp, the Logical song.
Right. Yeah.
It's a song that's semi-popular that people have heard.
People recognize it.
People recognize it, but nobody really covers it. You know, it's not like when we do the Eagles. We do Take It Easy.
Oh yeah.
And so people cover that all the time. So it's kind of it can sound a little like, oh, it's just sample. But I think Silly Love Song is a nice tune to really.
It's also got nice harmonies.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then played a couple of Lewis's originals. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, so the first one that I did was Worlds Away, which I'm considering changing the title only because Worlds Away is not in the lyrics. It's just kind of, I don't know. So
I kind of like that though. I have some songs that are like that don't have the title.
The title and the lyrics.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it hard to find trying to
it's
Spotify.
True. It's true. Yeah.
But I mean the idea behind it was I had a girlfriend who had tried to kill herself, and so it's meant to be kind of a comforting song, it's the message is you don't have to do this, those scars won't go away, if you really want to start anew, really start over, we can just run away, we can do all kinds of things, you don't this is not necessarily the way to go, you don't have to go with this finality, and that's kind of the whole point of when I first started writing it, the whole idea behind the title was that we can go worlds away, but then that was the idea, that I had this title and then I wrote the song and I just didn't use those words, but the sentiment is expressed. Speaking of which, of sentiment, I usually have very facetious comments before my songs, and tonight I didn't use them. I like to to like. I like to.
I was proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, Travis doesn't like it when he's on stage.
Well, you know, in some places it's fine. Get a little loose in the gums, but
Well, no, the idea behind it is that you trivialize a lot of things that happen. I mean, like, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, like what I'm singing about doesn't really matter, and I like to remind myself of that, and I like to remind the audience of that too. Sometimes it can seem like I'm just being like, you know, trying to be way too edgy, but nah, it's just my way of like shaking off the nervousness. And, and the second song. The second song is we don't call it that anymore.
I like it. You should just call it Kylie's song. But whatever.
Another tune where the lyrics are not
California.
in the it's California now, and it's about you know, I had this tune kind of festering in my mind for like a long time. I thought about it at work.
Fester has like a negative connotation.
Yeah, it was just rotting in my mind, dude. Like,
rotting?
Yeah, because like seriously, I had a whole different conception of this tune when I first came up with it. It was a reggae tune. I told you about that. It was like it was like a reggae tune. It was like a whole thing. Like I had all these bad ideas
So
attached
you rescued
to it.
Yeah,
I kind of rescued it. Yeah, it was a rescue song, and so I had these lyrics that I'd written with like a conception of the harmony of you know, take a trip to the coast because California is pretty big, you know. And
song.
Yeah, and then you know, I meet this person who just kind of finishes the song for me. Like we had like a late night conversation in her car, and like, you know, she literally just finished the song for me. Like she just told me her story, and like I was like, hey, like, you know, like I'm leaving like the state. We could just go to California. Like forget about all of this stuff. Like don't even worry about it. Like it's
There
just,
seems to be a theme in your songs. Like, hey,
let's just
let me
go.
just take you away somewhere.
Yeah, dude, it's like
like it.
I don't know, man. I have
You're so romantic.
just it is kind of a thing. I don't know. It like there's an intimate, like, I don't know. I like to think of the intimacy of love and put it into like a literal perspective of like literally going somewhere. I have like an idea for a song like I'm probably gonna write like 5 years from now, in which like when Elon Musk was like, oh yeah, the next Mars travelers are gonna be like gone for like 5 years. I was like, hey, what a great opportunity to go away with the lover. Then you gotta deal with all kinds of problems, but but hey, like you get to work things out. You gotta have I don't know. Maybe I'm just too romantic. Watch me do that and then like, you know, ruin it. Anyways.
Let's see. Yeah, so okay, we did a couple of my tunes. Some songs that also have been floating around for me for a while, and finally got the chance to really work on them with Lewis and getting the harmonies down, and I thought they came off pretty well. Yeah, I like what Lewis brings to them with the keyboard parts. It kind of fills it out, you know, and the vocals. And when I play them by myself, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to like really get into it. But when somebody else is with me and you know he's contributing all of that, it really makes it kind of come alive for me. So it's really fun. It's nice. And,
So tell us about the title.
yeah, so we played Balance, which is a song I wrote basically about moving out here, and or inspired by moving out here. Lewis says my songs are about the human condition, but I guess they kind of are.
Yeah, no, it's
In a general sort of way.
we were talking about this earlier about how like the title Balance kind of says it. It's like the sadness and the happiness that comes with like just living. You know, I think like Travis, a couple of the songs that I've heard Travis sing like are just about that. They're about like, you know, just being acutely aware of how sad life can be, and also like how you can find joyfulness in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't mean to like speak for him,
that's a
but like
good way-
that's what I find.
It's a good way to put it, you know, and yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of the theme of the song, is finding a balance in your life. And everybody has struggles and battles that they're facing, and when you meet somebody, you don't always really know what they're going through, but everybody's going through something in their head usually. And then the second song we did was a song. It's called Not From Me, and it's kind of just about like friendship, and when you see somebody and you can tell that they're having a bad day or they're just feeling bad and they don't really want to say it, but you can tell, and it's kind of like, hey, we're friends. You can tell me about it. It's okay. You don't have to, be so tough all the time. You can take your armor off.
Yeah, no, it's also I did want to say that, like, I think Travis compliments me really well, and I hope like I do the same for him. And it's like it's nice playing with other people who like can kind of follow you, and like you don't have to work with them. Like you don't have to work with them too hard. Like I mean, Travis, like I taught him those songs like yesterday in like 30 minutes. Like he was only at my house for like a couple hours, and he just like learned it. And I feel like yeah, you've heard me. He's heard me play them before, like at gigs and stuff like that. It's actually really exciting to have him. I don't know if you're a fan or not, but you've expressed like interest in my songs, and it's actually kind of exciting to have like Travis just sit in on like my songs and just add that element to them. Because like when I play them alone, like I have to fill in a lot of space, and like being able to like play with TJ is like. He fills in a lot of the space that I just can't fill in. Like it just adds that other element. I don't have to worry about things. I'm not so nervous about a lot of this stuff because like he's there to like just kind of back me up.
If one of us fucks up a chord, the other one usually has it.
Yeah, one of us has it. Usually know well enough to like lay out.
Yeah.
So for those that aren't familiar with you guys' live performances, just tell us a little bit where you met, how, and what you guys are up to now.
Well, let's see. I first moved to town about a year ago.
So I moved in first.
Yeah,
I moved in first a month before he did.
Yeah.
And so I go to Lizard Tail because it was advertised on Craigslist that they had a Monday night jam.
Yeah. And I found it in the Alibi, the Monday night jam. Open mic.
Yeah, the open mic. Yeah. So I usually look for jams. We've both moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I've lived in I don't know. I've lived in enough cities to know that like the best way to find friends quickly is through a nice jam or an open mic. Especially as a musician, like there's a culture to I guess musicians that like you can find anywhere here in the U.S. You go to an open mic, you perform, like people talk to you, you get to meet people. I got to meet Joel Phillips, who literally I met him on Monday. And that Sunday I was playing at church with him.
Same.
And that was the same thing with Travis. Like we met him.
Set, and then they approached me about playing a church gig, and so I was playing bass at the church where they played for a while, and Lewis and I started, finding some common interest. Jazz is a big interest of both of ours. I studied jazz.
Believe it or not,
Texas.
He's an insane drummer. He's an insane drummer as well as a guitarist. And believe it or not, when he first got here, he was not as good as he is now at the guitar. This dude has spent the last year like really honing, like zeroing in on how good he is. Like it's insane how good he got in 1 year. Like say what you want about like how long it takes, like 10,000 hours or whatever. Like this dude has put in his time in 1 year. He's just got it down. I don't know.
Well, I've certainly learned a lot from you, man.
I respect that.
A lot of like harmonic concepts and improvising and sort of little tips I picked up from this guy big time. And also just I think one thing that Albuquerque has been really great for is that I've had the chance to spend a lot of hours on stage in the last year. Just over and over again, open mics and jams and gigs, and just the number of because
it can be difficult in other cities. It can be difficult in bigger cities to like
really get stage time.
To get stage time where it's
because that's where you really learn, and that's where you really like judge yourself,
like you need practice. You need to spend like thousands of hours of practice, but
you're not
I think the biggest experience,
in your bedroom.
Yeah, you master being a musician on stage, and that's a big thing that Albuquerque.
Not that we've mastered it yet, but we try.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing some masterpiece.
Anyway,
We like to joke around that we're the best.
We're Lewis and
musicians in town.
Travis, and yeah.
You guys had a great performance. You want to do a quick plug for the guys here at Scala?
Oh yeah.
Thank you to David Chavez.
Yeah, the
He hooked
draft
us up with
sessions.
this gig and the draft sessions. Yeah.
You look up the draft sessions on Facebook. They run like 4 or 5 open mics around town, and they're, I don't know. It's been a great place to get exposure. They really bring people out. You get to meet some really good musicians. Yeah.
They promote it really well, and it's it's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.